justice for OFW Joanna Demafelis, found in the freezer. Stick around. Hello my friends, this is Bobby D coming to you from Talamban, Cebu, Philippines. I'm having an awesome time in the Philippines today. Hope you are as well, wherever you're from. Hey, today I want to talk to you about justice for OFW Joanna Demafelis, found in the freezer. In the Philippines, justice for OFW Joanna Demafelis, found in a freezer. Now, when we talk about the Philippines, you understand, this is a country where OFWs, overseas Filipino workers, are abundant. There are approximately 200 million Filipinos in the Philippines, in this country alone. And of that number, 10% are overseas Filipino workers. Yeah. And so OFWs are very important to this country's economy and to this country's development and future development as well. This is a continuation of our series on crime. And today we're looking at the case of Joanna Demafelis, a 29-year-old Filipino. Joanna was the sixth of 9 children in a family that was raised in the province. Now, Joanna was, like most Filipinos, always wanted to help her mama and papa and her family members. So, in 2013, Joanna's family was a victim of a huge typhoon called Yolanda. It practically demolished their house. And so Joanna wanted to do something to help the family recover from the typhoon damage. She wanted to go to be an OFW to help her family renovate their home, help her family repurchase their mortgaged farm, and to help one of her siblings through their schooling. So Joanna signed up with an agency, and next thing you know, she was on her way to Kuwait. And there she was employed by Nadir Asaf and his wife Mona. Now Nadir was a Lebanese national and his wife a Syrian national. There, Joanna worked for approximately a year and a half where she sporadically communicated to her family and sent money home. There was a time where the family had no communication with her for over a year, and the family became very, very concerned about this. They reported Joanna as missing to the OFW authorities. Lo and behold, approximately a year later, the manager of the department where Joanna was employed came to the apartment, opened the doors, found that the couple had left the apartment empty. And they searched the apartment and found, lo and behold, they found the body of Joanna stuck in a freezer. What a sad situation. So the manager reported it to the police, and the authorities put out an international manhunt for Nadir and his wife Mona. They were found in Syria, Damascus, Syria. Nadir was transferred to Lebanon, and his wife now is in custody in Syria. As a result of this heinous crime, President Duterte placed a ban on deployment for OFWs to Kuwait. Now this ban is still in effect. It doesn't affect those that are already there. There's approximately 250,000 Filipinos working as OFWs. This ban affects future deployment to Kuwait. This crime was so heinous that it caused an international outcry from human rights activists. How could this happen to an OFW that was just trying to do her job? It's it's imperative that the countries that OFWs work in protect the OFWs. Most Arab nations handle OFWs under the system called Kafala. This is a system that's pretty much administered through most Arab nations. It allows the employers to withhold the visa, the passport, cell phones, any computer equipment, anything that would allow the OFW to communicate with their relatives and friends back home. The employer has the right to withhold those items. Not only that, if the OFW wants to change jobs, or they have to get permission from the employer. It is thought that Joanna's communication may have been limited due to her being under the Kafala system. So this is a terrible system. It lends itself to abuse, because when you think about it, the employer of the OFW has pretty much total control of the OFW. When they have the ability to withhold their visa, when they have the ability to withhold their cell phone and other communication devices where they can't communicate to their loved ones, that's control. So this type of system contributes to the abusive environment of the OFWs. So, what am I saying? Here we have a young lady, 29 years old, beautiful young lady, who was simply trying to help her family. And she volunteered to be an OFW. She didn't volunteer to be abused. She didn't volunteer to be hurt. She didn't volunteer to be damaged. She didn't volunteer to be brutalized and mistreated. But yet that's what happened to her. And this is some things that, thank goodness, President Duterte is working on to protect the rights of OFWs. So, what am I saying? The bottom line is, and I repeat the words, in the words of Joanna Demafelis, which is Joanna's brother. Joanna did not go to Kuwait to be killed. She went there to help the family. And it's good that the government eventually helped the family get their house repaired. They helped the family repurchase their mortgage farm, and they helped the family send their sibling to school. It's good that all that happened, but it's terrible that it had to happen at the expense of Joanna's life. That's it for now, my friends. This is Bobby D saying take care. God bless.